Above a barren, lifeless world, an alien ship loomed as the engineer stood atop a cliffside waterfall, his dark eyes surveying the vast, untouched world below. His body sculpted like a marble statue, reflecting the cold light of the alien sun. In his hands, a small bowl trembled slightly, holding the very essence of life and destruction. The engineer closed his eyes, as if offering a silent prayer to the cosmos, and drank. A moment of silence followed, then agony. His flesh quivered and disintegrated, his form unraveling as a force beyond comprehension tore him apart. He stumbled, falling into the cascading waters below, his body reduced to the most primal elements of creation. DNA fragmented and swirled into the current, whispering the first breath of new life into the waiting world. Millennia later, a pair of inquisitive minds explore yet another cave. This cave, though, held a discovery that would change their lives forever. Dr. Elizabeth Shaw and Dr. Charlie Holloway stared in awe at the ancient star map, etched into the stone walls of a cave they were exploring. The same pattern had appeared across civilizations, divided by oceans in millennia. "It's an invitation," Shaw murmured, her voice alight with excitement. "They want us to come find them." 2 years later, the Prometheus sliced through the black tapestry of space, its destination set, LV-223. On board we find David, an android built by the Wayland Company, as he moves through the empty halls, keeping watch the entire journey. His fingers graze a keypad, and after a few touches, he is able to display Dr. Shaw's dream into virtual reality goggles. He watches as Elizabeth Shaw relives childhood memories, talking to her father as he prepares a meal over a fire. Upon their arrival, David wakes the crew from their artificial slumber. The mission brief was delivered in the cold efficiency of Wayland Corporation's representative, Meredith Vickers. "This is not a mission of discovery," she snapped, her gaze icy. "This is a corporate expedition. Stick to your roles." But for Shaw and Holloway, this was more than an assignment. It was the greatest question in human history, standing on the precipice of an answer. Descending onto the storm-lashed surface of LV-223, the crew is met with a desolate, unforgiving landscape, jagged rock, and endless gloom. As their ship weaves through a massive canyon, sensors detect a towering, pyramid-like structure. Heading for it, the captain, his voice firm, warns everyone to stay sharp as he sets the ship down in a billowing cloud of dust. With cautious steps, the team ventures inside, their movements stirring up layers of dust, undisturbed for centuries. As they press deeper, they discover a vast chamber lined with hundreds of vases, neatly arranged beneath a massive, looming stone head. While the others look around, David selects a vase, freezes it, and slips it carefully into his bag without anyone knowing. As they continue their exploration, the team stumbles upon the remains of a being unlike any human. It was an engineer, just as Dr. Shaw had envisioned. But something had gone terribly wrong. The creature's head had been severed by a closing door, a gruesome fate frozen in time. Dr. Holloway allows Shaw the honor of carbon dating the body, revealing that the engineer had been dead for 2 centuries. Meanwhile, David manages to unlock the door, revealing the missing head still intact inside its helmet. Just then, the captain warns them of an approaching storm. Wasting no time, the team quickly bags the head and makes their way out. Back aboard Prometheus, the secrets of the engineer's DNA are unraveled, an almost perfect match to humanity. "They made us," Shaw breathed, the weight of revelation pressing upon her. After gaining some privacy, David examines his prize, removing from the vase 4 ampules with a mysterious black liquid in them. As he closely eyes a drop on his finger, he makes a sinister plan. Later that evening, as he talks with Dr. Holloway, David puts his plan into motion. With a slide of a finger, he laces Holloway's drink with a single, microscopic drop, offering it with a knowing smile. The next morning, while out exploring, Holloway becomes very ill. When the team return to the ship, though, Vickers refused him passage onto the ship. Knowing he couldn't risk infecting anyone else, Holloway tells Vickers to kill him as he staggers toward the ship. Pleading, she raised the flamethrower and burned him to ash. While the grief of loss settles over Shaw, another horror grows inside her. A pregnancy, impossible yet undeniable, grew at an unnatural rate. The medical scanner confirmed what she already knew. Inside her, something alien took root. Desperation fueled her, driving her toward the automated surgery pod. "This machine is calibrated for male patients," the system protested. Overriding it, she gasps. The pain was unlike anything she had ever known. Trembling, she chokes on her own breath as the scalpel slices her open. The machine removes the monster, writhing from her stomach, and staples her up. In a final act of self-preservation, she slams the chamber shut, hitting the decontamination button in the process. Shaw then runs into Peter Wayland, frail and near death. "I'm here to meet my maker," he declared, with the delusion of a dying man who believed himself deserving of immortality. The crew awakened the last engineer, watching in awe as he rose from his slumber. David spoke in its ancient tongue, relaying Wayland's demand for life everlasting. The engineer listened, gently touching David's head before ripping his head from his body. Using David's head as a weapon, he then crushes Wayland's skull, before turning his wrath upon those who had dared to trespass. He had been sleeping for thousands of years, but his purpose had not changed: destruction. The engineer set the final sequence into motion, his ship prepared to deliver the black liquid to Earth, a harbinger of death for the very species they had once created. But the Prometheus had a captain who understood sacrifice. "If we don't stop that ship," Janek said, "there won't be any home to go back to." With a solemn nod to his crew, he took control, steering the Prometheus into a suicide course. The impact was apocalyptic. Fire and wreckage rained down as the engineer's vessel collapsed, its purpose erased in an instant. But the engineer did not die. Cornering Shaw amongst the wreckage, she flees toward the only thing left that could destroy him, the creature she had given birth to. The monstrous offspring lunged, tendrils constricting, forcing itself upon the engineer. Shaw turned away as the abomination sealed his fate, impregnating him with something worse than death. Exhausted, battered, yet alive, Shaw retrieved David's severed head and body. She had lost everything: her crew, her answers, but not her purpose. And so, she and David set course not for Earth, but for the engineer's homeworld, seeking answers to the one question that remained. Far behind them, in the ruins of the crash site, the engineer's corpse convulsed, his chest splitting open, giving birth to a nightmare. A creature sharp-toothed, black-skinned, something new, the first of its kind. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.